The Business Journal Roundtable Series is sponsored by iSynergy, creative digital advertising.
So, and we'll open this up to everybody. What happened? What caused all of this? Is this all pandemic related? What brought about all this turmoil?
Where do we start?
I think there's a lack of, I think there was a lack of new construction since the last downturn. And so we have a lack of inventory in our area, whether it's smaller homes under 1,000 square feet, even up to the larger homes. So over the last 10, 15 years, that lack of new inventory, moving people, shifting people around, then when interest rates bottomed out during the pandemic, everyone was like, oh, this is a great time to buy because money's so cheap. So it still created a ton of buyers, but the lack of inventory was never there to begin with.
I would have to agree with that. I think prior to that, 2008, 2009, if you look back in the Valley especially, there was a lot of new construction. And then when the crash came, it almost came to a halt. So therefore people, and I was talking to Rob about this, I think if you're, let's say, a baby boomer or something, you want to sell that house and you want to go to a villa or a condo, there really isn't much available. So you just come to the point where you say, well, I'm just going to stay where I'm at until something's available for it. And, I think that's one of the big things, and I think that's all through the United States, the lack of new construction. And again, it's pricing, for them to build a new one. Like you said, Donnie, it was like, okay, it's costing so much, the materials and stuff like that. And part of that could be from COVID because of the, supply chain issues and things like that, so.
And labor too in our area.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of skilled labor. It's just getting somebody to get that construction started. And hopefully the lender's working with them. We used to have spec homes. We used to have, our developers who would develop, but we really don't have that anymore. And it's hard to get the financing, and I don't blame you guys either. I mean, you got stuck with a lot of inventory.
We do have some construction going on, but it is limited, and the prices, it is a little higher than what it was prior to the pandemic. And 18 and 19, the economy was very, very robust. The unemployment was at all-time lows, and people were buying, and that spurred on extra buying and excess buying. And now people don't want to sell the houses when they have 2.5% interest and downsize or upsize into a bigger house because rates are in the sixes now. So they're going from 2.5%, 3% to 6.5%. And so I think like a lot of the baby boomers have decided we're going to stay here until we see what happens with this economy and it settles down.
Mm-hmm. In addition, the prices have raised around the country. We're drawing a lot of out-of-towners to our area. I get California, the East Coast, Europe all the time. Investors looking to purchase here, to have rental properties, long-term investments. People are just picking on the map. I want to come to this area because I can afford to live on retirement. So you're seeing a lot of that because of our cost of living around here is way more reasonable compared to a lot of major cities in the U.S.
The Business Journal Roundtable Series is sponsored by iSynergy, creative digital advertising.